Welcome to Insights with Thomas Caldwell on Thursday, February the 5th, 2026. So Tom, we're discussing topics right now that we never even thought we'd ever discuss.
Absolutely.
So let's continue the conversation. I'd like to know, Prime Minister Carney, how do you think he's doing? Do you think he's making any progress? And then on the flip side, President Trump, what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know whether Prime Minister Carney is making progress yet or not. He's doing a lot of speechifying and he's doing a lot of these memorandums of understanding, but that hasn't filtered through to actionable yet. There was an interesting column in the paper recently written by Joe Oliver, a good friend, and he was saying that Mr. Carney's actions don't line up with what you should be doing or might be doing prior to big negotiations coming up on the North American free trade, the CUSMA thing. And I thought about that, and I thought, well, you know, Carney is not a foolish man. He's a corporate bureaucrat. He's worked his way up in the central banks, which means you've got to be a politician, like it or not. And I'm wondering whether his combative tone to President Trump or toward President Trump and toward America isn't basically an acknowledgement or recognition that we're not going to get a free trade agreement. Because if you were getting into negotiations, you want to be sort of playing nice with the guy, because it is about Mr. Trump's ego at the end of the day. But the fact is he's not. Maybe this is real. And that goes to my original outrageous thesis that I think Trump is serious about Canada, serious about that you have the Treasury Secretary Bissett coming to Alberta and saying, well, listen, why don't you guys join the United States? That's outrageous. A government official coming and wanting to break up an ally type of thing. So maybe he is serious about this. Witness the map with the U.S. flag over Canada and Greenland. So I think Mr. Carney's behavior might be I don't know if it's a debating technique. It might be a recognition and getting people accustomed to the fact that we may not get a satisfactory free trade agreement here. It might be a lot worse than we think, and he's kind of preparing the world, and telling people how it is right now. So time will tell. We don't know for sure any of these things. And again, as you know, I get up every day and say, okay, what has President Trump come up with today? 100% on Bombardier jets. There's always something new every day. And when you're managing money, it's like being at a ping pong table. Boom, boom, boom.
Head on a swivel.
Yeah. What's going on? What's going on next? And you know, we can work through all this stuff. Don't get me wrong. Everybody, oh my God, you know, everything's a crisis these days. But we can work through this. Whatever it is, no matter how bad it is, we can work through this thing.
So, what does the current situation mean for equities in both Canada and the United States?
You see, if I accept my thesis that he wants to come for Canada, he will try to debase us economically, anything he can to hurt the Canadian economy so that it is more appealing to become part of the United States. So tariffs, anything he can do to threaten us, debase us, and that includes media as well. In fact, it was quite interesting. The Wall Street Journal had an article damning Mr. Carney's speech at Davos. That was a plant by the U.S. administration. So if you accept my thesis, then what do I don't want to do with the money? Well, number one, I want to have my investments within the United States because the economy is doing really well there. And Americans still are more or less favorably disposed to him, despite his outrageous behavior in Minneapolis and these sort of things. Terrible stuff. But my point here is the U.S. economy is doing well, and Americans couldn't care less about Canada or Europe or anybody else. How's my life doing? So I want to have investments within the United States, and my investments in Canada should be the things that we're good at. The things, by the way, that we sell in American dollars and our costs are in Canadian dollars, just in case the Canadian dollar collapses, which may be part of his plan. In case it collapses, I have investments in the United States, and I have investments in Canada, in mining, etc., resources, and even in our banks. They generate income in U.S. dollars, but their costs are in Canadian dollars, so the margins widen up. So that's the overall bias to my investment program these days. And above it all, you got to don't panic. You don't get spooked out, don't get spooked in. Just try to see what's going on and look beyond it. But those are the two focuses right now of my investments. U.S. directly, because the economy, everything's doing well there, and Canadian that can benefit if our dollar does collapse. And that's it.
Well, thank you so much for your insights, Tom.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to March.
I am too. I look forward to everything.
And thank you all for watching. Bye for now.